Hi guys, back again. Okay, so I decided I'm going to do a bit more of an update for you. Last night I did my first squad training at judo. This is 7 weeks post-op for my plate removal, and it's sorry, that's my phone. 2 weeks before I was supposed to go back to training, what the surgery recommended. So the reason why they recommend a certain length of time if you're doing a full compact sport like I do, amongst judo and jiu-jitsu and everything else, is that it takes a long time for the bones to knit together after having the screws taken out, the plate taken out. But, I was being a bit impatient, and feeling the idea that all the four walls are on, coming towards me, and I needed to get out and I needed to get back into, full-fledged training again. So I kind of bit the bullet, and my 2 hour session last night actually ended up to be an hour session because I hurt my wrist. Now, what happened was that just going through techniques, going through sparring and things like that, doing some groundwork, somehow my my skin, I guess, got pulled, and ended up having it being quite bumpy. It's gone down a lot now, but what's happened is that it gave a lot of not bruising. What am I thinking of? A lot of swelling, I suppose, just on the ridge of the scar. Now, that could be because it's the scarring itself that's been bruised or swollen, don't know, but it's actually okay now, but it was quite painful. So I guess my advice to you is, if the surgery, the surgeon says don't do full combat sports until a certain time, then don't do it, because it can cause a problem. And I was actually trying not to use my left arm, which is possible. You can always sort of keep to the side and just try your right hand sort of thing. But inevitably, someone might forget and land on it, or somebody might forget and pull on your sleeve or something. So yeah, take it from me. Do the full sort of sickness off and stay away from the mat. Even my sensei, he's got a problem. I think with his joints or something, or with his elbow, and he feels the crunch about not going back to the mat. So, if you're ill, recovering from an operation, recovering from an injury, stay off the mat, stay away from the dojo until you are actually fit to go on. Okay, so that said, I have been continuing to do my cardio. As you probably can see, I'm a bit wet now because I've had my shower, so I don't smell, so just as well as not smell-o-vision. And what I did in the last week, I've got back into my running again. Now, I really hate running, and I find it's very difficult for me initially to start off. I'm not a runner, I'm not a sprinter or a jogger, but it's something I've been doing for the last year, I suppose, to try and keep my cardio up and my weight down for the weight category. Got back to running last Sunday, so we're looking about, what we're now, Tuesday now, so about 3 days or so. In those 3 days, my initial run was 18 minutes. That's as only I could do it, because I've had like 7 weeks off, and I was really upset. I didn't feel like it, even though the sun was out there. I put all my togs on. I just didn't feel the run. I didn't feel the phones. I didn't feel like I needed to get out there, but I had to, because your mood is quite low. You need to get out and fresh air. So that was Sunday. Monday, I then did it again. I thought, right, okay, come on. You didn't even go for 20 minutes. Let's go for 20 minutes. Ended up being 25 minutes, because my thought was, didn't do 20 minutes last on Sunday, so let's add a few minutes today to try and make up 2020. Ended up doing 25 minutes, which is not too bad. And then the next day I did a 30-minute, and today I did 35 minutes. So it's creeping up there nicely. I'm not a very fast runner. I just want to go distance only at the end of the day, because I think for me distance is better than having speed, just to keep my cardio going. And in time, what I'll do is do like sprinting and then sprint, walk sort of thing. just to shed off the last few pounds of fat. So that's what's happening with my running at the moment. I'm not doing any weights because I can't lift the weights at the moment, but I'm doing body exercises, stretching, trying to do box splits, okay? At the moment I suppose my box splits are a bit like that, well maybe a little bit like that, and I'm going to try and get to the floor in about sort of 3 or 4 months' time if possible. Excuse me, I'm going to get rid of this phone. Technology, huh? Okay, so I'm doing stretches for flexibility as well, so I'm going to try and do some block splits. I'm going to try and do some normal front splits as well. If you guys want to see, you know, my progress in that, drop me a line, you know, put a comment in there, and I can go through maybe a weekly status of how low I can go, and maybe we can set a challenge up to see, you know, who can get to box splits first. You know, I'm a complete beginner. I have no flexibility in my legs whatsoever, so it might be great for a challenge. Okay, so the next thing is weight loss. I've lost another kilo, so I'm well under my my weight category. I used to fight under 78 kilos, which is quite hefty back in my, you know, my judo days, and also in jiu-jitsu it's quite a heavy category because I couldn't get under that. Now I am touching on 68 kilos, which I'm really pleased about, and I haven't been that for about 15 years. So it's all down to nutrition, eating cleanly, like, okay, plate of chicken, okay, that's your protein, and plenty of water, and you know, just keep your vegetables going, that sort of thing. So if you're looking to lose weight, stick to your proteins, don't fast, don't go on a diet. Diet's the worst thing ever, and there's a word in there called die, which is why you should stay away from diets. Eat cleanly 5 times a day with protein, with your fibres and with your carbohydrates in each portion. So plan for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to keep on running. I'm going to try and keep running for about 3 times a week if possible, and maybe 4 times a week. I'm not going back to the mat until a week's time because I want to make sure my arm is okay. So I'll check on that later on. And that's it for the minute. Okay, so as you can see, the scar is quite pink because it is healing on the outside and healing on the inside. Once it turns white, then you know it's healed. Okay, that's a good indicator. So it's pink and red, it's still healing. That's probably going to take another 8 months or so before it turns white. Okay, flexibility at the moment, I can flex it. I can't bend it back very well because that's just me. And then side is quite difficult still. And I've only got about 8 kilos of pull tension on this hand. I'm 39 kilos pull on this one, but only 8 on this one because it's just crap hand really. And the interesting thing I found out from my physio last time I went to see him is if you crunch your fist up like that and there's a little flap of skin or here, okay, that is usually quite solid like it is in here, so that's muscle for your hand. If I try the same here, look at that, nothing, it's absolutely dead fish. There's hardly any muscle tone in there at all, okay. So, hence why I haven't got it with me at the moment, but there's like a power ball you can use. Oh, here we go. Ah, I've actually come. Okay, so what I've been using is it's probably back to front to you, but it's a power ball with a gyroscope, okay? It's not these little fancy ones that has little lights and things go around in it and makes funny noises. It literally is, you just pull the string and then you're doing this with your wrist. That is brilliant. If you need to get your strength back in your wrists and your hands, technique for when you're doing any fighting, sparring, that sort of thing, or just generally for fitness for your hands and wrists, grab yourself a power ball. I'm sure they're going to be still on eBay. I think I picked this up for about £8, and I think you could probably get them cheaper than that. So just have a look at that. And at the moment I'm still off sick, so I've had no money from my company at the moment with sick pay because I've gone past that, and I'm not eligible for employment support because I haven't paid enough NI for the last 2 years. So I'm going to be trying to make some money through eBay, selling clothes and things like that. So if you guys, you're in the same situation as me, have a look at eBay, have a look at trying to sell, items, try and keep your money coming in, buy little tiny items and then sell them on, and then maybe make a business out of that. Okay, so as usual, leave a comment if you need me to answer back. I'll be really happy to hear if you're everything that's been going on with you guys, and hopefully give you a shout in a couple of weeks' time. Take care. Bye for now.